Yo, so I got an interview with EBPD, bro. I'm making big moves. Anyways, so I believe the beginning part of the recording was cut off. It was only cut off by like a few minutes because I just didn't have the recording on, I think. But there's still a lot to go through, so do enjoy. Oh, I hear shots going on.
Yeah. I had a big issue with that myself, so I was also talking with it. Though Nick did ultimately decide to do it, I was kind of pushed forward as well.
Yeah. Are you alright if I record the conversation?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, I don't have too many off the head topics. So I do remember like two things I do want to talk about. One is EBPD, and then the second one is a surprise, so I want to show you.
I'm finishing up an interrogation right now, so.
Interrogation, like in game?
Yeah.
How exactly does that even work? Like, how do you interrogate someone?
So the usual kind of way it works is, well, we have to follow like the legal code, so you have to read them their rights, which is the Miranda rights. If you're questioned without your Miranda rights, the questioning isn't admissible for evidence, which is kind of a misconception, largely in the community.
Okay.
For instance, if I didn't read you your Miranda rights and arrested you, well, it would technically be misconduct on my part. You'd still be arrested unless I used, say I didn't read you your rights and then you said, I had a gun and I shot that guy. I couldn't act on that, so if I imprisoned you based off that, would be a false arrest. But a common misconception is if I don't read you your rights, you're free.
Okay, yeah, that is a pretty big misconception. I thought, by the way you were saying it, I thought I had to be read my rights, and I would automatically be a free man.
I can kind of stream here. I don't know if you can use this stream in a video, but I'm going to show you personally, if you want to see.
Sure, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I won't include it unless you tell me to. Alright, so it's at this point in the video that I don't have permission to show the stream, so I will be showing gameplay in the background. And to the best of my ability, I'll try to summarize what's going on without, like, explaining, I guess what happened. So huge thanks to those of you who tell me things, who leave comments, who do interviews with me. It's a big help.
Yep. So this is just like a stream here. So I caught this guy. He has an active warrant, actively wanted. Says here above his head.
Wow.
We can all see that. We're not allowed to metagame off that though. For instance, with this guy, I'd be pulling up to a large group of people, which I do kind of often, and I take a picture of them. Then I have to RP pulling up a criminal database on a computer inside the cruiser, which most cop cars have. Yeah. And then you scroll through it a bit, match it. This guy's actively wanted. It's fraud, and I know that because we also have a channel in our Discord that has active warrants. Hold on a moment. So I double check in there just to make sure that it isn't a one someone's put on him. But other than that, that just means that it's a fraud warrant. When I search him up, he didn't come up in my database.
So I'm gonna pause here. I'm not giving an allegation just yet, but I do want to start posing the question of metagaming. To what extent is what they're doing and what they have access to not metagaming, and is metagaming?
So I also know from past experience that there's other Montanis that I have seen with laptops. We can't get you on a laptop unless we see you printing them. So.
Wait. So if I have a laptop, I physically am holding it. As long as I don't use it, I'm not in trouble?
You can be using it all you want. Unless I can see a card on you, you're just on a laptop. Okay. So I can't do anything about that. Okay. I could question you. I could think it's suspicious. My character could, like, for instance, I'm corrupt. I have authorized corruption perms, there's 6 slots total in the PD.
Alright, so this one is another big fish that a lot of people don't know about. I didn't even know about this until he told me, and I would have never believed it if anybody else told me. Authorized corruption, guys. They have an actual in-game RP mechanic to roleplay as being corrupt. Like, that's awesome, but that's also crazy at the same time. And the reason why it's problematic to some degree is because the public doesn't know that. I feel that there is just not enough communication in that aspect. Because if we were told some people are deliberately being corrupt, then I'm gonna start asking less questions and stop complain less. You know.
You could be corrupt without authorized corruption. What it just means, though, is say my character is Iseely fired for acts Iseely. I'm not fired at Iseely, so I can just make another character with the same rank. So Mr. Boy, swipe false cards.
So when you say verified corruption, like you're allowed to roleplay like being a bad cop, per se?
I'm basically... Anyone can roleplay it. I'm basically given explicit permission to roleplay it. And I'm also allowed to like be kind of super corrupt, is the benefit, I suppose.
Man, I feel like if that was explained like openly to the community, that some people are allowed, not in saying who, but saying that some officers are allowed to be corrupt, it would explain the reason why like we experience some weird things. Like we wouldn't be complaining as much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's the huge thing, is there's a disconnect between what we're doing and what we're doing. So here's a great one, actually, is you remember... let me actually... So this is another example. This guy, if you say you're a lawyer...
I done that before.
Yeah, Midley v. Montani. So I can see him, I'm going to ping him. I'm going to check. He's an East Brickton civilian.
How do you
Give me a moment. There's this... I'll send you the courthouse Discord. So I just I pull this up, I ping him.
Okay.
So Ashby pulls his phone out, scrolling through a list of registered lawyers. Hey, look at that. This guy isn't registered. That's a day in jail.
Dang.
You got that? You got that? So that's the most common thing. You can usually tell because none of them are block sets. Arrest him for the illegal practice of law. I'll finish with this. Please continue downstairs. Yeah. Anyway, so do you remember in the beginning of your video, or some part in your video, you were in a black van by the police station.
Yeah.
The SWAT guy pulled up to you.
Yeah.
That was me on a different character. After my current guy got
oh my
killed.
god.
So the reason I pulled up on you is because I had watched for a little bit, and I see you're in a van. And I see it's a black van. Aside from this, I don't know if this was you. It could have been. But did you play the character Max Montani by any chance?
No, I don't play any Montanis.
There was a guy with
them. I feel like.
Yeah, there was a guy. Or were you Moretti? Max Moretti?
No, so all the Italian families I'm like at war with. I'm the leader of Yuma family, and I tried to ally with them one time, but they kind of blew me off. And then since then they've just been showing disrespect. So all the Italians, I don't mess with them, and I don't make Italian characters. Yeah. So anyway, your license plate was similar to some other guy I found, so I thought you were actually him. That's why I asked you, Max Montani. So you had a similar license plate. So originally, I get you for suspicion, right? I have nothing on you. I can't actually arrest you. Yeah.
But I can pull you over and ask for license, see if I can get more information. An example of this would say I see you shaking in the car. I can be like, oh, he might be under the influence because he is a Bloxer addict. Then I can probably go for pat down. Okay.
So, to clarify, there are instances where you can come up to someone based on a suspicion.
I think the best thing to look at here is at Perry stuff.
Yeah, I feel like if that was just explained more, like I wouldn't be complaining about it. I thought you came up to me because you're being weird. I was like, I'm just driving around the block. I'm not doing anything.
No, it partially is weird. I again, authorized corruption firms. I can't. I'm being weird. I'm being somewhat corrupt. If you look at my character, I have 2 million in the bank. I take a lot of bribes.
Okay.
Yesterday I was patrolling. I stumbled.
So what is the benefit of being interrogated, like for the player?
Usually, for interrogation in this purpose, right? I have K. Montani on felony fraud and evasion, right? I know through searching this other guy that he's also a Montani. I had previously stopped 2 more Montanis, and I had also done case on the Montanis before Vinny Montani was shot by the Bofalitos. So I actually know there's a fit.
Okay, so there's something going on. But my question was...
see the other Montanis with computers now.
Yeah.
Go on.
My question was like if I were the player, What's the benefit of telling you anything if I'm already arrested?
As a detective, I can commute your sentence, so I could theoretically let him out with no charge and take his warrant if he was cooperative, and if he gave me enough information that I deemed it so. I can also make you an informant, stuff like that. I can lower your sentence. There's like a lot of things I can do.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Alright, so with that being said, I'm gonna play something that I'm most likely gonna use in another later video. But this next clip is gonna paint a completely oppositional idea for you.
Cause Bella's on right. She's in the car right now. Bro. So I'm about to call this big bitch.
Hey yo, wrong clip, my fault. Sorry, Timmy.
Look, motherfucker, put a skull, bro. Yes.
Listen
up.
Listen up. He's whispering.
He's whispering. Oh, he doesn't want anyone else to hear.
Corrupt.
There's no way he's not a corrupted cop to do this shit.
Said I got 45 seconds for you
to tell me the truth now for 40. After this, there's no going back.
Don't budge. No snitching.
I don't have anything.
Right, so as you can see here, we have two sides. One side says that, hey, you can get less time, or you can possibly get off if you get interrogated. And the other side says that if you get interrogated, you're most likely just being pushed to snitch on yourself, or you're guaranteed to get booked anyways.
But he got charges to give him, correct? Don't know, apparently Julio had something on him. I don't have no idea. They don't have anything on me. That's the thing.
They don't. You don't have anything. You don't have anything, and that quote snitch isn't even here.
Like the gaslight these motherfuckers at, bro.
Professional criminals, bro.
Are you getting interrogated?
He is, bro. Innocent man. They're trying to put him on for something he didn't do.
All right. To explain
they told me they're
interrogation,
gonna give me 40 years. They're gonna give me 40 years.
To explain interrogation, they're gonna try to stack things against him. So deny everything. Everything denied. They're gonna.
That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been. That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing is not on. Look.
So you plead the fifth.
So I guess my next question on that would be like, what if he just left the game right now? What would happen to him?
I usually do this whenever I meet someone. I do /ID K Montani, so I see him right here.
Yeah.
Whenever I interact with him, I take a little screenshot of it. So now I have his ID. If he leaves, I just clip it, I send the ID, and it's leaving to avoid arrest. It's a 15-day ban. Because he's still technically under arrest. Early Montani did it, nothing. But
you said 50 as in 50?
No. 15 to 30 days for leaving to avoid arrest.
Okay.
Shared on last. Repeated. Done.
So, are you saying arrest, or are you saying as a ban, like a game ban?
That's a game ban, and if you keep doing it, it can be, yeah. So that's the main kind of dissuader for it. Some people don't ID enough, which is a big issue for us because it encourages more people to leave if they don't get punished for it.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm definitely a user of that substance. That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah. So that's what we've noticed. We just try to be more strict about it and grabbing them because, like for instance, there's quotas, and if people leave, they disturb their quotas, which can get really annoying for some of the PD players. But it's also just like rough when you're 4 hours into a patrol, every single person is left on you. Right. As folks in that times. Now I see another time. Two, in fact, for the fraud charges. So what I'm doing here in this interrogation is I'm trying to establish that the Montanis are a family implicated with fraud.
Yeah.
And if I can get them to agree in saying that they are a crime family, then I can give them a gang affiliation charge, which is 2 days. So I can stack that on top. So the main thing interrogations serve on my end is I'm trying to catch them in a lie or catch them in some form of they've done a bad thing, and I can use it against them.
Okay.
So it's that, or a big thing my character is motivated by is finding exotic weaponry.
Yeah.
So I have a few different informants for that. So I'll get text for that sort of thing. Oh, I spelled clarify so wrong. That's kind of the main thing I do. I'm just a detective. So,
Okay.
Interrogations and stuff. Yeah. Is there any other questions you got too?
I'm gonna look at my videos to kind of like refresh my mind.
Let's go for it.
Okay, so I guess my next question is about the jail times. Do you think the amount of time someone spends in jail is good, like good for the player, good for the game, a good idea overall, or do you think it should be addressed?
I think there were definitely times that were too long, and specifically it was the felony fraud, way too long. Otherwise, I think it's decent. I think you also have to be careful. If you're knowledgeable about the law code, you can avoid a lot of the time. If a good police officer gets you, say you rob somebody at gunpoint, and then you run from me or something.
Yeah.
What I could get from that, like law-wise, is I could get improper use of a firearm if you didn't have a permit, illegal possession of a firearm, illegal possession of ammunition, uttering threats if you tried to do that. If you didn't rob them, I could get you with conspiracy to commit a felony. If you like tried to pull your gun on me as I was chasing you, even if you failed, I could get attempted murder of a PO. And off that, I can get you for 10 days. If you walked up to a guy and you just kind of like uttered threats without pulling a gun on him, or if you used a knife, you'd be at like a 1 day total. So there's a huge deficit. If you're licensed, it's a lot less time. If you don't specifically issue a threat, it's a lot less time. If you don't, shooting your gun is a crime. I've sent you a legal code.
So, who exactly decided to have it in days instead of like hours? Because, like for example, if I got,
Marcus.
You said Marcus?
Yeah, I know. Okay. Marcus was the one who threw out the 15-day number, which we recently cut down.
Yeah, so I actually got a screenshot of someone getting a 16-day ban yesterday, and they were on the bridge of just like quitting the game right in there.
Yeah, I think it is tough time-wise. I think it can be avoided, but I think it is a decent amount of time, especially if someone knows how to stack charges.
Oh my god. Let me see if I can find that screenshot. It's bad. I think it was because he was using the laptop. He got hit with every single thing in the book, it seemed like.
I can also look up, like, we have a database of every arrest we did, so...
Okay, I'm going to double check to see if they got it for other stuff. Switch accounts to get it. So he sent me this. He says, you've been arrested for 16 days, 55 minutes, charged disorderly conduct, cybercrime, obstruction of justice, tailing.
What he's got you there for is so we don't have specific crimes. As in, okay. So I have like a specific amount of in-game things I can give you to, but they don't reflect the out of like OOC crimes. So I can't give you like for instance, improper use of a firearm.
Yeah,
that's not a crime. I can't get you for that. So I give you 3 days of equivalent charges that add up to 3 days.
How do you know it's for 3 days? Is it the Trello thing?
Yeah, it's all in the Trello here.
Okay.
That I posted. If you pull that up, you'll see it's like a whole thing with different classes. So what your guy got was felony fraud, which is what I think this guy means by identity theft and evasion. So he ran. So a total of 16 days, 15 plus 1 for evasion. So that's what he got.
So
he probably got a warrant about this stuff.
Is this criminal code page like available for everyone to see?
Yep, it's posted in the court server.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, this is crazy. I did not know this existed. Well. I still do feel like having days, like real life days, as the punishment is still a bit too much. I feel like it could be hours for something like bank robbery. Like, why does that say 25 years? That has to be a joke.
You can't bank rob somebody. It's impossible, I think. I think bank robbery is an in-game.
I know, but it's
25 years, by the way, is a CK. That's what it means.
Jesus Christ. I think that's kind of my point. I feel like it's a bit heavy-handed for a lot of these things. I mean, we're playing a game where we're incentivized to do crime, I feel like, because working is kind of boring.
I like to think the way I kind of put this into perspective is it encourages you to be more thought out about this. In character, I have also done several murders. I haven't been caught yet.
Okay.
because I kind of planned them out a bit. Like, for instance, there was one guy that attempted to kill another cop.
Yeah.
And so eventually we found him on the side of the road while we were undercover. We snatched him up, we put him in a car, we brought him out to an apartment complex, and we faked his death as he was a Bloxer addict. He had, like, the scab and whatnot.
Yeah.
By crushing up Bloxer, putting it in soda, putting it down his throat. So that was the IC explanation. So we kill him. There's nothing you can connect to us being the criminals there. And so I think you can get away with a lot if you just plan it out a little bit. And I think the prison time adds, or kind of encourages you.
Okay, so you see it more as encouragement than discouragement.
I see it as encouragement to be more careful about your crimes. And also, I think in a way, we have really little to get you for if you use melee weapons. We have assault with a deadly weapon is our only thing we can try to get you for.
I guess on that note, how come things get stacked on a lot? Because I mean, if it's like 2 days or 1 day, it doesn't seem that bad by itself, but sometimes it does get stacked. Like, even if you use a melee weapon, you could stack on like a murder charge or attempted murder or evasion or obstruction of justice.
Attempted murder would be the stand-in for you could only get charged with assault with a deadly weapon or attempted murder, because it's kind of the same thing. So attempted murder would be more if you intended to kill them. Assault with a deadly weapon would be, say, you got into a big fight and you started hitting him with it. So that's the slight differentiation there. Okay. And in this case of a knife wielding thing, what I could get you for is assault with a deadly weapon. That's the first one. If you ran from the evasion, but that's kind of it. Whereas there's kind of a lot more you can get with a gun charge, but it's more. There's tons of, like, I guess, little details you can be charged for. So the stacking really comes into effect as in if you're committing all of these different crimes that seem like they're just one thing. Because what a murderer is in this kind of EB legal sense is you're improperly using a firearm to take another person's life, and to doing so you aren't discharging the firearm. If you have a permit, you aren't hit for illegally possessing it. If you don't, you're hit for having the ammo you used and the gun you used. If I get you to interrogation and you confess to buying it, I can get you for buying an illegal firearm. I could probably get the other guy for...
Yeah. My point being is that would lead to, like, an amount that's between, like, 5 to 7 days at least in jail. And the problem I see with that is that it changes, like, the game fundamentally. Like, you're not playing East Brickton anymore, you're playing a prison roleplay.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of like that's something I think the community has to decide. Do they want more, like, quote unquote realistic prison time, so it's you're going to get hit harder for doing stuff, or do they want it to be more arcadey? I think that's just what has to be decided for people on this issue.
Do you think the community has a say on, like, the amount of time or things like this?
I personally think everyone has a say. I mean, if you got the entire community saying we want less time, and if we don't get it, we're going to leave, that's kind of it's essentially democracy. I don't think there is that huge, like, one-sided idea here, though.
Who do you recommend I would talk to if I were to start, like, a petition to change the amount of time? So I really do strongly feel like when players get, like, a weekday or a week time sitting in jail, they really don't want to come back to the game. Like, I don't think I've been jailed before. I think I've seen people in jail, but they only play the game for, like, 15 to 20 minutes and then they get off the game. Whereas if they weren't in jail, they'd be on for longer.
Yeah.
And it's like metrics like that how to put it, like, if we're talking in the sense of Roblox, how long people are playing your game, how many people are playing your game, it would explain, like, the active player base. Like, we would have more players if they focus on, like, they focused on, I don't know how to call it, but I guess the SEO of the game. Alright, so with this all being said, there will be a part 2, so look forward to that.